I'm creating this video before I have even started a YouTube channel. And so if you are interested in seeing the true nitty-gritty process of a guy middle-aged, no cell phone, don't own a cell phone, haven't for about 4 years, I'm not on any social media, never been on Twitter or I don't know what are the other ones, TikTok, anything like that. But I'm creating this video right now. Obviously it's posted if I'm creating it, but at this time I don't have a YouTube channel, and I'm going to document the process of starting this channel with the goal of becoming monetized and having it be a bit of a side hustle. So if that's something that you're interested in, follow along, and I guess go to my channel and follow it. I don't know how it's going to look because I haven't posted anything yet. So if that sounds interesting to you, it seemed interesting to me, go ahead and follow along, and I'll start to unwrap the process that I went through. So here it is. As I said before, middle age, I'm retired. Some of the things I've done in the past aren't related to this content creator field. I was, as a young man, I was a Marine. I am a Marine. Once a Marine, always a Marine. After that, I became a private investigator, and the video that I did at that time, so I have made videos and edited them before, but that was on VHS. It was on the micro cassette tapes, and so I have some experience doing that. But as far as downloading, digital media, recording, other than I did have a phone years ago, I'm a retired deputy sheriff, and I was injured on the job, and so the way this came about is, like a lot of people my age, I always used YouTube for fixing your car or something like that. But I ended up to make my retirement work on a fixed income on a piece of property where basically it was raw land, and we've been developing it ever since. Before that, we were living in an RV full time, and so it's been quite the process and quite the adventure. I never really thought about YouTube or making videos or anything like that. But being on a fixed income, I wanted to generate some additional money, and I wasn't physically able to go out and just do the traditional part-time job or something like that. So went on YouTube and ended up looking into, and landed on the side hustle thing. And there was, I think, this one creator, this gal, her name's Cody Sanchez. And I was watching her, and that was impressive. She had a lot of videos on different businesses like laundromat, things like that. And so I did own a private investigation agency one time, so I do have some business experience in that. And so I was looking at some of these more traditional businesses, at least in my view, what I would call a traditional business opportunity. I made some notes, and some of the things I looked at initially was a medical courier, lab logistics. I was looking at these different courier jobs, career courses, laundromats, things like that, property management. And then it dawned on me, a lot of the things that I look up on YouTube, and here I am looking at these people who are business people talking about all the different ways they made money on the side or even full time as a business person through a laundromat and so forth. But they're all, the one thing they all had in common is I was watching them on YouTube. So regardless of the diversity of businesses I was looking at, the one thing they had in common was being on YouTube. So, you know, the aha moment was, well, why don't I be on YouTube? And so when I looked at it, I said, you know, what does that entail? And so, of course, there's quite a few channels and quite a bit of information out there. If you put in, you know, create a YouTube channel, I started kind of going down that road, and you know, so here's what they said to do. You know, kind of the step by step of it was, you know, pick your scene, have symmetry. So that's how I set up this shot. Clean your scene, it says. I don't know if I did a very good job of that. My wife was asleep. It's earlier in the morning, so I went out to the RV. That's composition. Don't really. I have an idea in my head of what I want to talk about, and so that's what I'm doing. That's composition. Lighting, I did try to set it up so I do have the sun coming in on my left, and that's my natural lighting. Audio, so like I said before, I don't have a cell phone, but I did start to make videos. So I looked at my situation and went on YouTube. And it's, you know, what kind of camera to get, and of course it all talks about, yeah, you can have a phone. Well, a lot of people already have a cell phone. And when I started looking at a new cell phones, you know, $800-900. So I did a couple of comparison videos and stuff on the different types of cameras and stuff out there. And I was kind of leaning towards a GoPro type of situation. I landed on this DJI Pocket camera that I'm using right now because it was with the creator combo pack. It was like $500, and I don't have a lot of money. Like I said, I'm on a fixed income, but I do understand that it is important to invest if you're going to invest in your business and invest in yourself. And so I did that. I went ahead and ordered that camera, and I've gotten it. One of the problems I've found with it is I can't see the little screen very well without my glasses. So that's a setback. And there's a few others and stuff, and I'll probably do a video. And I think I did an unpacking in some of the stuff that I've seen to do. But it did come with a lapel mic. And I saw on this, you know, how to do a YouTube channel. Audio was important, so hopefully the audio is good. I have the thing attached to me, the lapel mic, and that was one of the deciding factors for me on that. And then shooting content, it says, you know, iPhone, MacBook, smartphone, cinematic mode. I think I'm doing that. I'm not 100% sure, but the other thing that I've looked up and I haven't done yet is, so that's how I ended up on the camera. So I have progressed that far in the creation of a YouTube channel process. The other one is software, and some of the ones that I haven't looked, I looked up vidIQ a little bit. Don't really understand it. I'm kind of an analog guy. I grew up in an analog world. There were no cell phones or anything for a long time, you know, growing up. Yeah, I have adapted. I have learned to adapt and overcome. But another one that software is ClickUp, Notion, Asana, Noom, Noom, Slot, Upward, Fiverr, I guess, is for editing, which I have yet to, as of right now, the only thing I've done is shoot some videos on content. And the reason I did that, so I haven't uploaded anything or downloaded anything or edited anything. I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to do that, but I am going to work through the process and document that But I did sit down, because it's a good business principle to do it, and wrote down, hey, what are some of the things that I like watching on YouTube? And in my circumstances, are there those situations here? And here's what I came up with. So not that long ago, I went ahead and just wrote down all these niche. I guess it's niche if you're French, niche if you're American. And it dawned on me that we live on property in the country, as far as like a homesteading type of genre. We do a lot of those things. I have a woodland mill that I cut down trees and mill wood, and I've been using them to build not only my house but other stuff, and it's a work in progress still. And I recently purchased a GX470, a Lexus GX470, because I was looking at the 4Runner and my other vehicle. I needed a vehicle that could tow, and so I did the research on that, and that's a whole channel, a whole subject in and of itself. So here's some of the things that I wrote down on my niches. So I have the GX470. I can do some videos on that, and that is legitimate content. My woodland mills, I've watched channels where their whole channel is just milling, and I do, I've been doing that for a few years now, so I do have some experience in there. Before this, I went full-time. When my retirement went through, it was not planned. It was a forced retirement because of disability. So I was retiring earlier than I had anticipated, and I have 2 kids, married. I have 2 kids, and we were homeschooling our children at the time. And so we sold everything because we just couldn't afford to do anything else. We got an RV and we went full-time. And this was 10 years ago. It wasn't as mainstream as it is now. So it was an adventure. It was fun. It was one of the greatest decisions I could have made at the time. But RVing, and so I have a lot of RV knowledge. I've remodeled an RV. The RV I'm sitting in, I recently remodeled. It's an older one, and I like doing that. I've had some health issues, and I went carnivore about 7 months ago, so there's some content there that I wanted to share. Woodworking, I do some furniture reverberation. I don't know if that's a word. Reverberate, yeah, I don't know. We'll leave that one alone. I mentioned before homesteading. The other thing I bought a couple years ago, when it was 0 interest, I bought a Kubota tractor. And I've seen whole channels on that, and the implements I got, and I try to talk to friends and do research and everything when I do things, but I'm just an average guy. I make a lot of mistakes, and rather than edit all that out, which I haven't done any editing yet, but I'm just going to try to be as transparent as possible. So it's kind of like an analog guy in a digital world is my thought process. Christianity, I'm a Christian. My faith is important to me, paramount. And so I don't know that I would be doing necessarily Christian content, but I would be doing content all about my life, and I am a Christian. So that's going to be part and parcel of anything I do, because it's part of who I am. Finance, I've been looking into some of the leveraging and of your finances and stuff. Of course, I do have some financial experience. At one time, I did work in the insurance industry for a short time when I got out of the Marine Corps. So it's antiquated, but it is a background, and I do understand some of the language. And again, it's going to be, I think pretty much everything I do is going to be from a layman's perspective. I'm an expert in, I would say, a Marine and a private investigator and a deputy sheriff. So those are my areas of expertise vocationally. And they're, I don't know, I guess they're interesting, but not really the focus of my life right now. I have 2 great dogs that are really funny and cute. One's an English Mastiff, the other's a French Bulldog, and I got some footage of that. I live out in the country, and so I have a lot of I'm always taking advantage of the wildlife that's around me and so forth. So I'll be shooting some of that stuff too. And then the reason I don't know, the story, anybody who has suffered from a concussion, I've had 3 pretty severe concussions in my life and more minor ones. And just a few months ago, I was hospitalized with pretty severe head injury, and I've been dealing with the post-concussion symptoms for the last few months, and that's been something that I'm working through. And I did learn some stuff along the way, and so I'll be sharing that as well. If that's something you're interested in. As far as health, I talked a little bit about carnivore, but I've also had degenerative disc disease. I've had a lot of knee injuries and elbow injuries, and just led an active life. And so somebody my age, I have some of the battle wounds to show for it. And kind of my pursuit, I have gout, which is a severe arthritic flare-ups that you get. But I've done a lot of things to deal with the chronic health, autoimmune system type illnesses, and I've kind of landed on some pretty decent things that are working for me, and it's not the average case. So if that's something that you're interested in, I'll have information on that on my channel, as far as health and carnivore and where we're at. And my wife has got some thyroid issues and stuff too that she's working through. So I think that information, I know it's going to be, there's going to be quite a few people that will benefit from that, because I've done the research myself on YouTube, and that's how I've ended up between that and other sources where we're at right now. So that should be interesting. I already mentioned the side hustle thing, and I landed on this YouTube channel as my side hustle, monetizing it and providing hopefully some useful information for people, while that, providing for helping to add to my fixed income scenario where I can get a few other things done around here. And then some how-to videos. The way I decided to do it was, I didn't know how to download, but I figured, hey, I could grab my wife's cell phone, because where we moved, it didn't even have cell service. When we moved here, we got rid of my phone. I had a phone and she had a phone. And my kids have phones, but they don't live with us. So I got rid of my cell phone. It was a pretty liberating thing too, and there's a story to be told there. And then eventually got off of social media. I guess we were on Facebook like a lot of old geezers. We were on Facebook. I even got off of that. I didn't see the benefit in it. And it was pretty liberating, but there's a story to be told there. And that's how I ended up with my YouTube channel. So the next thing I'm going to cover, I wanted to make this video. I am going to get a cell phone. I'm having one given to me, and then I'll get another line, get it hooked up and all that stuff. But it's been so long since I've done anything digitally, and like I said, with the phone or all this technology, I've kind of checked out for a few years. And so coming back to it, I'm out of date. Things move so quick that it'll be interesting, I imagine, to see what it looks like to relearn, or all the new stuff. Now we have AI, so I assure you, you'll be able to tell that I think you'll be able to tell that my channel and the things and the content I create is not going to be AI. It's this guy who doesn't know what he's doing trying to figure it out. And I'm going to come up with some more niches and ideas and things like that. And I don't know where I'm going to land, but here's some of the video ideas that I have. And like I said, I own property, so I put a fence in, and I started creating content. So I started making videos. I mean, creating content sounds so whatever. Making videos. So that's what I figured. Say, hey, I'll just start making videos. I talked to my kids a little bit. I said, I'm going to start making videos, because it's where we're at in the Pacific Northwest. It's in the summertime is when we get stuff done. And so the idea of making a video, editing it, putting it out, and this and that wasn't going to work. And so, but I could make a lot of raw footage. And so I did take my wife's phone initially and started a sunroom project. I was working on the fence. I did some milling. I ended up putting a seat belt in my GX470, and I tried to make a video about all that. So I have, like I say, I've yet to even download. That's probably gonna be the next thing I'm gonna do, is take a lot of this video that I've already shot and download it, and then figure out how to do that and document me figuring out how to do that, and then as well as editing, and then eventually landing on a name and getting I'm going to get another email and whatever it takes to get a YouTube channel started, create one, which I don't know. We'll stay tuned and figure it out. So if that sounds interesting, it would probably be a good idea to subscribe to the channel. Once I get the video content edited and everything, if I even need to do that, I don't know, whatever. Once I get all that and start posting the videos, if you're on the channel, then you could follow along if it's something you're interested in. And it should be informative. Even if you learn from a bad teacher, you could still learn stuff, and it should be entertaining somewhat, or at least interesting. So I look forward to the adventure. Thanks.